Okay, so we talked about naming polyatomic ions. Now we're going to go the other way. We have the name. We need to write the formulas down.
Oh, okay.
So we're just going backwards. So the same thing we did before. The first thing that we have to do is what?
Well, we have to see what elements we're dealing with and what polyatomics we're dealing with, and then find the symbol for them.
We got to find the symbols. You're right. So aluminum has the symbol Al, and this is sulfate. The 8 tells me that I'm dealing with a polyatomic ion. That's a really, really good key. The 8s here all tell me that I'm dealing with polyatomics. If it's 8 or ite, so you want to keep that in mind.
So ide, probably not a polyatomic.
Ide is not a polyatomic.
But 8.
8 or ite, yes.
8 or ite, okay.
So I'm going to look for sulfate on my polyatomic ions chart so that I know what the formula and what the charge is. So we're dealing with sulfate. That is right here, SO4, and it's got a charge of -2. This is SO4. Okay, now I got to write the charges.
So the charge goes in the upper right, right?
It does. SO4 has a charge of -2, and because it's applying to the whole unit here, I'm going to put them in parentheses. I've got a bag and tag right here. I put parentheses around, that's the bagging, and then the tagging would be to write the charge, -2.
Okay.
So these parentheses, just like in math, the parentheses tell me that this -2 is distributed to the whole unit right here.
So it's saying all those, they stick together.
Yes, they all stick together. The whole thing's got a charge of -2. And what's the charge on aluminum?
Aluminum is +3.
You're right. Okay, now the rest of this is going to be just like when we did the binary formula writing. I just crisscross. That's it.
Crisscross applesauce.
Yep. So the -2 is going to come down here to the aluminum, and this +3 is going to come down to the outside of the parentheses.
We always want to drop the charges.
That's
drop
right.
and swap.
Drop and swap. Yeah. Crisscross applesauce, drop and swap, whatever floats your boat. So then I finish. Al2 parentheses.
Oh, because we got a bag and tag.
Got a bag and tag. SO4 3. And that subscript has to go on the outside of the parentheses because I got 3 SO4 units.
Oh, so
right
the
here.
3 applies to everything in the bag.
The 3 applies to everything right
so
here.
we have 3 sulfurs, and 3 times 4, we'd have 12 oxygens.
That's a lot of oxygen.
That's a lot of oxygen.
A lot of oxygen. Yeah, it's got to go the whole thing. It's got to go outside the bag. All right. You want to try the next one?
Sure. Calcium carbonate. Well, I know calcium is Ca.
Yep.
And it has a +2 charge because it's in group 2.
Because it's in group 2, it's got a +2 charge. You are exactly right. And I got carbonate, so now I got to find it on the chart, right?
The 8 tells us it's a polyatomic.
Do you see it?
I do. It is right there.
Yep. CO3 right here.
-2.
And it's got a charge of -2. Right. So CO3, and the charge is going to go on the outside. It's got a -2 charge right there.
Oh, so we'll probably have to bag and tag on this one too.
We will. Let's crisscross. That's going to go to the outside of the calcium, and that's going to go to the outside of the parentheses. So they both get a 2 subscript. So if I rewrite this, Ca2, CO3, 2, oh look, they have the same subscript.
Oh, so are we going to do like we did before? And if they're the same, we simplify them?
That's right. If they're the same, we got to simplify. Because it's all about the ratio, really. I still have a 1-to-1 ratio of calcium to carbonate and so on. So I still got to simplify or reduce.
Well, here's a question for you. If we reduce and we have 1, do we still need to bag and tag?
We do not. If we reduce, we don't need the parentheses anymore. we can clean it up, CaCO3, because now I have one carbonate atom.
Oh, what if we reduced and we had more than one? Would we do it then? Would we bag and tag?
Yes. If we reduced and I had more than one of these, then I would bag and tag.
Okay. Well, that seems easy enough.
Yeah. Let's try silver nitrate. Uh-oh. This is a transition metal.
Well, what do I do? Because it's a transition metal, but it does not have Roman numerals. What does that mean?
You're right. So if there are no Roman numerals equals 1. I only have one Ag. So that'd be the same thing as like silver 1 nitrate. It's got a charge of 1.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing, exactly the same thing. So I got an Ag with a charge of +1, silver with a charge of +1, and a nitrate is what?
Well, nitrate looks like it's right there, NO3 minus.
NO3 minus, you're right. So NO3, the -1. So if I crisscross here,
1 and 1, and we got to drop those charges too.
Yep. So that would be the same. I'm going to slide this over a little bit. AgNO3. I don't need to write the ones.
All right. That seems pretty easy.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So if you have, if it's greater than 1, you're going to need a bag and tag. You put the subscript outside of the parentheses, and the parentheses tell me that the subscript applies to everything that's on the inside, right there. All right. So if you have any questions, be sure to ask your teacher.